Welcome to the Empty Nest Kitchen, where we're finding fun in the kitchen now that the kids have flown the coop. I'm Christine Van Bloom, a cooking teacher with over 25 years of experience, here to show you tips, tricks, and joy in your kitchen, all while trying something new. Let's get cooking.
So today we are talking money, right? And I have got the lovely Jane Helm from Money Mentor Group here to chat. Hey, Jane.
Hey there. So glad to be here today. I love talking about money.
It's so funny, right? Because, my parents were definitely like, we never talk money. Don't ever, it's none of your business. It's none of anybody's business. Don't talk money. So, that has come hard into me. But I have always said when I'm teaching my classes, when I'm doing my thing, I'm like, I love money. And you can tell people sometimes they physically blanch
The
at it.
gasp, right?
They gasp. They gasp. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you? My mother-in-law used to always say, handy stuff to have around.
And that's so true. It's always handy to have money.
It's all. So you're the owner, the founder, the grandpapa of Money Mentor Group. Tell me what that is.
So I just celebrated 9 years.
Incredible.
Money Mentor Group, being the money lady to a lot of people. And what it means for me, it's what I eat, breathe, and sleep. Because, like you said, a lot of us grew up with money is taboo. We don't ask people about money. We don't ask how much they make, how much, anything. And my parents never talked about money. And so when we're raised that way, I will say we have a lot of misconceptions about what's going on, and we haven't learned anything. We just kind of imagine things, or I took money stories all the time. So we come into adulthood and we're like, oh, we have bills, we have taxes taken out of our paychecks. We have to pay attention to it, and we don't like it. And we sometimes don't have enough of it. And it creates all kinds of emotional responses, right? We need money to live. And we go into adulthood without the lessons. And it's created a business for me, actually. Because
I love that. So what exactly do you do in your business? What does Money Mentor Group do?
Well, I am someone that creates financial confidence. And that's two words I put together, calm and confidence, with my clients. So if you can be confident with your cash flow, then your world just opens up, right? You become someone that I'm not worried about the stock market because I have belief in it. I'm not worried about my cash flow because I have a plan, and that plan works. And I want people to know that I give them direction sometimes. I do a lot of education on how money works. So many people don't understand how money even works. Lots of rumors, lots of, I don't know, just false information. I provide personalized strategies to get that cash flow in order. Accountability is a big part of what I do. And I'm your cheerleader. So people come to me with their money struggles, and that's the hardest part, is reaching out. And we take where they are and get them where they want to be with a plan that they can manage going forward.
But you are not a financial planner.
I am not a financial planner or advisor. I came from that world. I was in that world for about 15 years. And that's part of what sparked me to do what I do. I'd be in front of clients in the financial advisory space that both of us would consider had a lot of money, millions of dollars, right? But when it came to managing their everyday money, it was a struggle for them. I could see that they were afraid to spend, and they had millions of dollars, right? So a lot of it is psychological, a lot of it is emotional, and I kept seeing the need for what I do on the everyday side of money.
Oh, that's so interesting to me. How did you get here? How did you get to the point where you wanted to do this?
Well, when people ask me that, I say my whole life really led me to it. My own messy money story, my own journey with money. I was a hot mess with money. I put my family in a very precarious situation. We almost lost our home. We had $60,000 worth of credit card debt. But if you looked at me from the outside, everything, I looked like I was so put together. I had it all. I had cars. I had a beautiful home. But I wasn't sleeping at night. I was doing math over and over, trying to figure out how to pay all the bills. And I did not want to stop spending. And that whole journey of learning how to get out of that debt, because back then there were no financial coaches. And I certainly wasn't going to a financial advisor like, hey, I need your help. There's so much shame. So my own story, then being almost by accident, landing in financial services, learning how money worked, seeing how these clients were amassing money a little bit at a time, all came together for me. And I have my degrees in social work and psychology. So I will say the short story is my whole life led me to this. And towards the end of my career in financial services, I just kept seeing it over and over and over that people needed help understanding why they did what they do with money and understand the psychological part of it, because I combine the mindset and the mechanics of money. So when we can get those two working together, those two ingredients, Miss Chef, we have a recipe for success.
Oh my gosh, Jane. So you've worked in financial services previously, and it was really your own story that kind of brought you around. And that's so interesting because I think, everybody looks at the outside. Now that we're empty nesters, I feel there is a big shift in perspective that comes once your nest has emptied, because you're back. Not that you're not thinking about your kids. You're always thinking about your kids,
Always,
right?
forever. It's a lifelong thing. I was a mom for like 18 years. I was worried for 18 years. That's not true. Don't believe me.
So not true. So I think my perspective has shifted so much. And I realize that what I see on the outside really doesn't matter. Also, I'm like, my neighbor's finances, they don't matter. What do I care? It has nothing to do with me.
Well, you have turned a corner.
I have turned a corner. I will say I have turned a really big corner in the past couple of years, just all over the place.
And so you turned the corner where you don't care what your neighbors are driving. You don't care what their house looks like. The outside stuff just doesn't matter. And so many times we're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And we don't know what the Joneses are really doing or how they're doing it. And that comparison is the thief of joy. It really is.
It really is. I think you're right, Jane. I don't know. I have had a huge perspective shift. Really colossal perspective shift. And I'll also say that where the shopping and the Target run and all of that used to bring me joy, it brings me no joy now.
Well, we joke about Target and Costco, right? People tell me, I can't leave Costco without spending a couple $100s. Yes.
Well, that's actually true, Jane.
No, it's not.
No, it is, Jane.
I can tell you, even I am a chef in my house too, but it's making a decision. It's all about financial decision making and learning what you value. What do you truly value?
I tell you, you're right. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
go ahead.
I'm
sitting here being blown away. Jane. I just love this.
Yeah. And, I'll just use an example. I used to have a weakness, I'll say, for purses. I don't know. It has to do something psychological. And when I started shifting my spending habits and really trying to do my own journey with my own struggles with money, that was one area I really had to face. I decided I was no longer going to go to that part of any store. Why? Because I could justify buying a purse. It was the right size, the right color, the right style, the right whatever. So I had to put blinders on, literally like a horse. I put blinders on and wouldn't even go to that part. So when people talk about not being able to stop spending, you have to make the decision that you want to. What do you really want? And it's a lot of mind tricks. It's a lot of mindset. That's why I combine both of them. I can create a plan for anybody. Give me a half hour, an hour, I can put it together, but it's not going to matter if you don't have the right mindset. And that
Yeah.
mindset should be based on what you value and what brings you joy, what you want the money to do for you.
I love that. And I will tell you that I can go into Costco now and I can get what I know I need. I mean, I still have half a cooking school in my basement.
I'm sure you
So I need nothing food related, right? I just whipped out my mom's old bread machine and
I saw that. Yeah.
oh my gosh, I just whipped it out yesterday and it wasn't all together. So I had to find the part that goes in the center, like where the pan for it. And it became like a panicked moment for me because I've locked this bread machine into my memory of my mother, who I don't remember ever using it. Right. And I know she did, but it became so vital. And then I dropped something and then I broke something and glass shattered everywhere. And I was like, it's not your mom. So I see where people attach all of these things to money. Right.
Well, money touches every area of our life. We need it, right? It's how we pay for the roof over our head. It's how we pay for our needs and our wants. So a lot of coaching is life coaching now, because I'm talking about each client's life. You're talking about your mom and that bread machine. Well, you attach that memory or that object, right? And so, yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. My mother passed several years ago, and I still have certain objects of hers, little things, her salad bowl, right?
Yeah.
Nothing tastes better than a salad out of my mom's salad bowl, right? So we do attach things to our emotions.
All right. So if you were going to give, let's say that you are a person and you don't just handle empty nesters.
No.
You run the gamut.
Yeah.
You run the gamut of social, economic, right? The whole thing there. So you've got that. And let's say you've got someone who comes in who is a new empty nester and college is done, whether they paid for it or whether they went into a lot of debt to help their kids. College is over. What kind of tips do you have for someone that's maybe in that situation?
Well, first of all, I think it's an opportunity. I view becoming an empty nester as an opportunity. It's a life event. We've launched our kids or they've launched themselves, thank goodness, right? It's an opportunity to really re-examine who you are, what you want for the next however many years you have. And again, going back to what you value, what is it that you value? A lot of people value travel. I want to make sure we're earmarking money for that. No matter what your situation is, we're earmarking something, right? Because life is not just about earning money, paying bills, and dying. Life is about enjoying yourself, but it is the time to re-examine your values. It's a time to, if you're confused about any part of your money, to get that education. We have the internet now, so you can educate yourself on so many aspects of money. I would say empty nesters today are much different than our parents were. But my parents retired like mid-60s, and they weren't like, now what, as far as income, right? But now we all can have a side hustle, or we have so many opportunities available. So look at those opportunities, right? We can go on an elder hostel and get educated on something, or we can do whatever we want. We have a lot of opportunity. But it's also a time to take a look at your estate planning. I don't do that, but I do recommend that. It is that time to kind of reevaluate a lot of parts of our lives, thinking about we're going to live longer than our parents did, probably. So looking at your healthcare options. I know I had the joy of signing up for Medicare last year.
Oh,
And I consider myself pretty educated, and that was huge, trying to understand it all and navigate it. So that was a huge educational experience for me.
I have friends that have said that have said, like, they have done the research, they have dug in, and, luckily I have an Elaine in my life, and Elaine does the work. She does all the research to
Get an expert.
figure out how that works.
Yeah, I got an expert because I tried to do it on my own. And I understand money. I'm educated. I'm literate, but that was huge. And I finally went and got an expert. So get expert advice if you need it. Don't be embarrassed. I have a lot of women come to me, actually, that have never managed the money and now they're widowed or they're divorced. And they don't even understand what they have, why they have it, and they're scared and they're ashamed. So there's so many of us out here in the financial world, advisors, bankers, me, that want to help you. So don't be embarrassed of what you don't know. Start somewhere, get that education. I would also say, take a look at your cash flow, because you'll want some expenses to stay the same, but some expenses are going to change, and dialing up some of those and dialing down some of those is going to be important.
It is. It is. We're looking at it now. And my husband is planning on retiring in a year. And I'm panicked because I'm looking at all of the expenses. And, we live in a really expensive time.
Yes, we do. Here's what I'm going to say, though. Everybody has been talking about inflation, right? I talked about it. I feel it. I think we all do. And at the same time, people are creating their own inflation. If you're carrying credit card debt that's at 26.9%, 30%, whatever, you have created more inflation than anything at the grocery store, okay? So we are responsible for how we manage our money. And, people are like, do you know what I paid for eggs? And I'm like, yep, I do, because I paid the same thing. But what if you paid for whatever you bought on that credit card?
Yeah.
Right. So I think we create some of our own nightmares.
Wow. So, credit card debt it's a big thing, right? It is a big thing. And what did I look at the other day? I don't know, some credit card offer came across somewhere, and I'm extremely judicious with this. This is not an area I play around in. And I think the interest rate was like 32%.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty standard now. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? I don't even pay attention because we don't carry balance, right? I am very hardcore on, we just don't carry balance. We use it very little.
Right.
All of that stuff. But I was shocked. I can't imagine being a kid who gets out of college, who graduates college, and they're all over them to get the credit cards. You're going to be in credit card trouble in seconds. It's going to take you a month.
It's going to take you a lot longer than a month to get out of that. But
you're going to get in trouble in 1 month, immediately.
And
immediately.
The credit card companies have made it so easy for us. We don't even need to swipe a card. We can tap a card. We can use our fingerprint. And so our buying habits have changed. And retailers are capitalizing on that. We're tempted every day. You get emails, you look at something on a retailer's website, even if you don't buy it, they're like, take another look, come on back. Did you want to take another look at this? Or they'll say, that item you looked at 4 months ago is on sale now, dude. Come on back. Right. And the tricks that they play, the word sale will motivate somebody just to buy it because it's on sale. Right. So there's all these psychological things that people aren't thinking about. They're not being mindful about it. To me, it's a game. Friend, I love these games. I've gamified it. But it's taken me it took me a long time to get there.
Yeah.
And like I said, shopping is so different. We can have something tomorrow, the immediate gratification, right? We don't want to wait for something, right? It can be on our doorstep. We don't even have to leave the house for groceries. We don't have to even leave the house. We can have anything we want almost immediately. So learning delayed gratification is a skill I teach my clients.
Yeah. That's amazing. I mean, the Amazon, I love the Amazon. I know they're the evil empire.
No,
Them
I
and
don't
Walmart.
consider them evil. They've made themselves very rich because they know how to do it.
Yeah.
They've set up a business. Like, I don't blame them, right? Like, we're built on a capitalist society. So, they've made the mark.
All right.
They're the problem, not them.
Well, I feel much better, and I can tell I share an account with our daughter, and I get a notice whenever she's, getting something. And I'm very judicious, again, except cookbooks. Forget it with cookbooks.
Well, but at least you know that.
Forget it. And I'm so much better than I used to be, but it's a good way to support small creators.
Sure.
So I love that. But I have gotten so much better with it. I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of doing that. So here's another question for you. How do you work with people? Do you do it? Is it all one-on-one? Do you have group program? Like, what do you do?
Most of my coaching is one-on-one.
Okay.
Most of it. I offer group coaching on a quarterly basis. And right now it's, getting out of debt, how to get out of debt.
Oh.
Because there are different strategies that you can use, and learning to stick to a strategy is the only way to do it. Learning how to beat the credit card company at their game is how you do it. And so many people struggle with debt because it's so easy to get into debt now. So that's my group coaching. And that makes it very affordable for people, much more affordable than one-on-one. So that's my group coaching, but most of my coaching is one-on-one. And I get most of my clients from advisors because I used to be in their world and I know what they do. And once they know what I do, they're saying, oh, these clients really need to be putting more money away for retirement, or these clients can't afford the insurance they need. And so I help them be able to afford it. We find that money with a plan.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, full circle for me.
It is full circle. And are you in South Carolina?
I am. As an empty nester, by the way, decided I was tired of winter. So I just couldn't stand it. From October to May, I would be cold. So we ended up in South Carolina. Everybody thinks I'm in Myrtle Beach. They can think that, but I'm really not. I'm much further north on the coast. But it was an empty nest move for sure, pre-retirement move. My husband's younger than me, so he has a couple more years of work, and it was a perfect time for us to move.
So do you take clients from all over the country?
All over the country, yes. Even international.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I have a listener in Germany.
Well,
so... Guten Tag.
I was trying to think of the word. I was trying to think, how do you say hello in
I remember saying bitte. Bitte, I believe, means please.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember learning that. They made us take German in 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? We had to take German, French, and Spanish
in
8th
all
grade.
3.
Yeah, it was like to give you a taste so that when you went into high school, you knew which language you wanted to take.
Okay. Yes, I work with people all over the country. All of my clients meet with me on Zoom, and we get a lot done that way. Some clients when they first meet with me, we meet very regularly. And then a lot of clients stay with me because they've met some goals and now they want to reach new ones. So like having me as a sounding board, they have decisions coming up all the time. We meet once a month and just go through that goal in our next action step. And I'll tell you, I have clients that have been with me 5 and 6 years. What they have accomplished has been mind-blowing.
Really? Can you give me an example?
Sure. I had a client that came to me in credit card debt and didn't know how she was going to get out of it, right? So we worked on that and that happened. And now she is able to take 4 cruises a year. She is blowing the doors off of her job because we learned how to negotiate that raise, right? And is now going to start her own business on top of everything else and has a savings account that is a year's worth of her expenses.
That's incredible.
It is incredible. And she did the work. I just guide people. I'm not taking I'm taking some credit for it, but it's more about the accountability that I offer. It's them doing the work. That's how coaching is. It has to be both of us, but they do the work.
That's awesome. That's so good, Jane.
It is so good. And I'm so happy for them, right? I'm so happy for her. So yeah, it's just a shift in mindset. That's the biggest part.
That's wild.
Understand your why. What is your why and why is that important to you?
That is so good. Jane, you're amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I love starting my day hearing I'm amazing.
Well, I tell you, and we talked a little before we started, but my whole goal is really cool empty nest ladies, and you were right up there, baby.
Well, thank you so much. Back at you.
Yeah. So if you are interested in talking to Jane or even just finding out what she's doing, I am going to put a link to her website in the show notes. Jane, what is your web address?
It is www.moneymentorgroup.com.
moneymentorgroup.com. There it is. So I'll have a link to Jane's socials. You can just scroll down through the show notes, check it out on the main page on my website. And Jane, thanks so much for coming on and talking to us about the money.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Jane. All right, everyone. As always, I hope everything is awesome for you, and I will see you in the kitchen.